Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the T-72 URAL. Now, because you could choose this for an op, there's going to be a lot of new players playing this tank, and I hate to break it to you, but in a way, you kind of picked the wrong tank. If you don't have an Era 2 Heavy, I can kind of understand, but this is the reality of the T-72 URAL. It is a bottom of Era 2 premium tank. And essentially what that means is, this is the equivalent of one of those Era 2 like beginner tanks that you would get out of the tech tree. Like the very first Era 2 out of like the 3 in the group on the tech tree line, right? And as a result, there is not a single other heavy tank that is a premium that cannot, how do I say this? There is not a single premium tank that is worse than yours. You unironically have the worst Era 2 premium tank, and because as far as I know, it's the only bottom Era premium tank. However, it does have 50% bonus silver, and it does have a 25% crew XP, and it's going to earn more silver than the World War II options that you had, so it's not like the worst choice if you don't have an Era 2 premium tank. But the fact that your tank's just worse off than everything else is kind of an issue, right? And so your health is only 2350, but if you look at the MOBAT and everything else, you know, they have like 3000 health. The average premium heavy tank in Era 2 has about 3000 health, maybe 2900. But also, you lack a lot of pen, so you find it really hard to pen tanks in the T-72 URAL. And its DPM is substantially lower than just about every other heavy tank. Actually, I think it is the lowest out of all the premiums, so you do tend to suffer a lot, and it's not easy. The tank is not easy to play, even if it may feel rewarding to you. It's just a hard tank to play. It's not easy, but you can still make it work. Now, I don't have the best game here, and I honestly kind of wanted to just show a losing game with the T-72 URAL, because when you play this tank, you're not an FE4 to 11. You can't influence the entire battle based on just your tank. This tank kind of works as like a support tank. It has pretty good alpha. Because of that, you do make pretty good amounts of silver, but it can feel extremely hard to play sometimes, and you're really going to have to learn Era 2 weak spots, because the reality is, your pen is so low, you can't just shoot through the front of most things. You actually have to aim, your DPM's not good, your health is low, and I'll be honest, the armor is trash. It's just how that tank is, and you gotta accept what you got if you already picked it. If you haven't picked it for that op, the War Hero Legend events, I would possibly reconsider your choices. Even though this is, in my opinion, the best one to pick, I also think it's the hardest one to play, because you're kind of just nerfed. You're kind of like being a tier 8 and a tier 10. That's kind of what playing this tank is like on a constant basis. However, it's just a lot easier to do damage because, you know, you actually have alpha and stuff, and so it's not as bad, but it does feel pretty tough sometimes. It's not easy, so if you are playing this tank, you just got to hang in there and really play kind of a support role. You kind of, as you can see, I'm not really head-to-heading anything because I can't. The hard truth is my tank isn't cut out for that. Unfortunately, my team is going to end up crumbling pretty quick, but, you know, I'm going to go through and try to finish this guy off, try to save my teammate. You know, I ram him into the FV4211. I don't know how I didn't kill him from the ram itself, but whatever. And then the FV211 decides, you know, driving out in front right there is the best option instead of turning, so we kind of get screwed. And, yeah, it's pretty much end of the game here. But it's just one of those things where you just got to do the best you can with what you got. And, you know, it's not easy, but if you just keep at it, you'll learn to do some damage.